Hi everyone, Tracy here with Paper Closet Designs, and I am so excited about today's video. Today is going to be a software video. I have designed these new files. They are printable files, and each software does them a little bit different. So today I'm going to show you how to use Silhouette Basic Edition, Silhouette Design Edition above, how to purchase it from the Silhouette store. If you are a Cricut user, I will also show you how to use this with your Cricut. This file includes printable Nugget wrappers. There's 10 of them, and 3 printable tags. There's also just a plain SVG file if you want to use this and cut the wrappers out of your own pattern paper, and then maybe just on the tags, instead of having the printable image, if you want to handwrite or stamp something, you can do that as well. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is we are going to jump over into Silhouette. Now, if you have purchased this file from the Silhouette store, this is what it's going to look like when you open it up into your design edition, your Silhouette edition. And if you purchased it from the Silhouette store to open up in Silhouette, you don't need to worry about which edition you're using. It'll work in design edition all the way up to business edition. To set this up for print, you will notice that on your file, you'll have 3 of these rectangles. These are Nugget wrappers if you want to cut them out of your own printed cardstock or your own printed paper. These are the tag backgrounds, and I cut those out of cardstock regardless of what I'm doing. And these are the 3 sleeve bases, and so you'll want to cut those out of cardstock as well. These blank pieces are tags that if you want to cut them out of white and then hand stamp them or put a message on there or whatever, you can use those. And then we have the printable file. So we have 10 Nugget wrappers that already have a pattern on them and 3 different printable tags. Let me slide this over and we are going to ungroup it. So the first thing that you would do is, if you were going to cut this out of cardstock, you would want to move all of your pieces over to the cardstock and cut them out just like normal. I'm not going to get into that in this video. So that would be regardless if you purchased them from the Silhouette store or if you have purchased them through me. Okay. Then, if you want to do these printable images, all you're going to do is you're going to come over here. We're in the page setup window. We're going to come to number 4, which says media size. Click on the drop down and find letter. That is because your printer is most likely a letter size printer. If you happen to have a 12 by 12 printer, you can leave it at that 12 by 12. We're going to come to this 3rd tab and click on it and click on. This is your registration marks, and you will notice that it adds your registration marks. Now we can take our nuggets, our Nugget wrappers, and I'm going to select the first 5 and drag them over here. You want to make sure that nothing is inside your hash marks and that nothing is touching your hash marks and everything is inside this red line. Let's grab our last 5 nuggets wrappers. If you are going to do all 3 of these sizes, so if you're going to do all 3 bases, then you will need a total of 16 nugget pieces. I think that was right. 15. You'll need 15 nugget pieces. I'm going to slide my tags over, and now this is ready to print. So the next thing I would do is I would come up here to my send printer, click on it. There is everything set up just the way I want it. I'm going to hit print, and then it's going to bring me to my printer dialog box. Now your box may look different depending on which printer you're using. I'm using an Epson EcoTank, and this is my dialog box. So I'm going to come up to preferences, and I really like standard vivid and plain paper for the sticker paper, for the white sticker paper. This makes a perfect setting without using too much ink. You can change it, play around with it, whatever your printer is going to do. And then I would go ahead and hit OK, and then I would hit print. I'm not going to print it today, so I'm just going to go ahead and cancel that. Once you have printed it, you are going to lay your mat or your paper on your mat exactly as it's shown. It will print, your printer will print all of the Nugget wrappers, and it will print the insides of your tags. It's not going to print those outside lines, and it's not going to print this red line. Then you'll hit send. I'm not connected, but once you're connected, you would hit send and go ahead and print it. This will work in the Cameo 3, Cameo 4, Cameo 5, Portrait 4, or the Curio 2. I've done it with all of them, and it works great. So then you would go ahead and cut those out. Make sure if you're doing it on sticker paper that your material is set to sticker paper. And then once that's done, you can go ahead and turn this off. Move your images to the side, and then go ahead and cut all of your cardstock. You will not need these wrappers because you've already cut the printed ones, and you will not need these 3 blank tags because, again, you've already cut the printed ones. So that's how you do it if you've purchased it from the Silhouette store. Okay, if you are in Silhouette Design Space or Design Edition, excuse me, Silhouette Design Edition or above, you can open up the printed files just like you did had you purchased them in the store. And so that is, you would go to File and Open, and this time you would find where it says Print and Cut SVG. So I'm going to double click on that and find my Reindeer Nugget sleeves and double click, and it is going to open it up exactly as if you had already purchased it in the store. The mat is a little bit smaller, but the images are the same size, and so you would do the same thing again to print this. So I'm going to go through this really quick. I will drag it over here, and I will show you what the pieces are. So these are your 3 Nugget wrappers if you wanted to cut them out of a solid color or your own pattern paper. These are the backgrounds to the tags. Those would be cut from cardstock regardless if you're doing the printable or not. These are your sleeves. These 3 white tags are your blank tags for you to write or hand stamp. And then this is your printable wrappers and your printable tags. So same thing, if we were going to print this, I would turn my registration marks on. I would come to the letter size and choose letter, the media size, sorry, go to number 4, media size, and choose letter. And then you're going to do exactly what we did before, and that is we're going to drag these images to our mat, and now we are ready to go ahead and cut them, or print them. So we would hit send to printer, this little icon up here. Make sure that everything looks the way that we want it. Hit print, open up your dialog box. Preference, once again, plain paper, bright white for me, and standard vivid is the perfect setting for my Epson printer. If you have a different printer, you'll want to change it up a little bit. And then you would hit print, which I'm not going to do because I've already printed them. Then when you hit send, you'll notice that the red cut lines are already there and they are ready to go. And then you would cut these pieces, whichever ones that you decided you needed, out of your cardstock. So that's how you would open it up in Silhouette Design Edition or above if you have purchased it outside of Silhouette Studio. Okay, now let's say you have designed Basic Edition and you purchased it from outside of the Silhouette store. There are a few steps that you'll need to be able to open up all of the printable images. So the first thing that we would do is go to our File, Open, and this time we are going to open up the SVG file. No, excuse me, you can't open up the SVG file if you are in Basic. So you would open up either DXF or GSD. I've been hearing some complaints that GSD is not working really wonderful in Silhouette lately. I've never really liked it anyway. I always use DXF, so we were going to click on that. Click our reindeer nugget sleeves, hit OK, and there is all of the SVG files that you need for the cardstock. So this would be your smaller, or your, excuse me, these three would be your background tags. These three would be the white tags. We have right here, we have the rectangles if you wanted to cut out your own if you wanted to cut out your own wrappers. And then we have the three bases. Now, one thing when you open up both a GSD or a DXF file, these perforation marks all kind of come in grouped together. So the first thing you'd want to do is select them just by clicking on one of them, and then we're going to ungroup. And I just right click, not ungroup, release compound path. So right click, release compound path. And now you would need to select these and group them. So there's my fold tag with the perforations, and I'm going to group it. This is my larger base. I'm going to group it. My medium base, I'm going to group it. And my smallest base, and I'm going to group it. Then you will also need to do the same thing with the holes in your tags. This is just one of the things that happens when you use a DXF or a GSD file. But it's a workaround if you only have Silhouette Basic Edition or Standard Edition. So I'm going to group those, group those, group those, and then finally group this last one. Now, if you want yours colored so that you can decide how to color each piece, it's super easy to do. All you would do is select one of your pieces. So let's say that we're going to do this larger, this larger base, and I want to do it in red. I would come over here to my fill window, hit the drop down, and then find a red. And this one I could do in green, whoops. And this one maybe I want to do in brown. And then you would do the same thing with your tags and the same thing with your nugget wrappers so that everything is ready to go. You do not have to fill those in with color to cut. You don't have to do it. It's just an option. Okay, so once you have your cardstock pieces ready, now to do the printable, there are two ways that you can do this. You're going to use the PNG file. So if I come up to File and hit Merge, it's going to take me back to where those files were saved, and this time I'm going to open the PNG file. And I'm going to click on it and click OK. And it's going to bring it in, and so I'm going to go ahead and put it on my mat. But you will notice up here there's a low resolution warning. This is an issue that Silhouette has had since the latest update. I hope they get it fixed, but for right now, you're going to get this little warning that says low resolution. And it will condense your files down a little bit, and so you might not get a crystal clear printing, but these files are small enough that when I did it on my printer, you couldn't tell the difference at all. So it comes in and it has the cut lines already. If you don't want that, because you've got the print, the low resolution warning, we can go ahead and delete that. And then you can come down here to your preferences, and when it comes into import, we can come over here to PNG, and where auto trace is checked, if we uncheck that and click OK, now when we go to File and Merge and pick up that PNG, it brings it in. However, there are no cut lines. So you would need to bring these cut lines over and place them on top of the individual pieces, which is not that big of a deal. You can totally do it. Let's do this one. It's actually, there we go. And this one. And now when I go to send, I'm going to have my cut lines. If you don't want to have to worry about that and you just want that PNG to come in with the cut lines, make sure that you go to your preference panel, which is this little gear shift right down here, and under import, check PNG auto trace and make sure that it is turned on. Like I said, this is such a small file that when you bring it in, even though that warning is going to show up, it's going to print beautifully. So that is how you would do this in Silhouette Basic Edition. Let's jump over to Cricut. Once we're in Cricut Design Space, we need to upload our files. So I need to explain that in Design Space, we can't upload the printable images with the cuttable images at the same time. So they are in separate files. So we're going to go to Upload, and we're going to go to Upload Images, and then I'm going to drag and drop. So I've already got my file opened right here, and I'm going to go to Design Space. And let me show you the 4 files that are included. So we have the Nugget wrappers are in one file. The tags are in a second file, and then we have 2 different of the cut files. We have one with dashed lines and we have one with solid lines. If I were to do the dashed lines, I'm going to just click it and drag and drop, and then we'll go ahead and upload and select it. When it comes in, the lines or the score lines are actually cut lines or dash lines, so they're perforation lines. If I ungroup this, you'll notice that the score lines are already attached to the base and to the tag. What will happen is when I send it to the Cricut to cut, you do not need a stylus, a scoring stylus or a scoring wheel. The blade will do everything. It will cut the outside edge, and then it will cut this dashed or perforation line in your base. So if you do the dash line, it's pretty much plug and go. You just plug and play and do it. If you want to do the score lines, we're going to go back up to Upload Images, drag and drop. This time we're going to grab the solid score lines, drag and drop, and upload, select it, and add to canvas. What you'll notice is that we have different lines. I don't know if you can see that as well or not. And those are actually cut lines. So if I ungroup this and click on this smaller base, you'll see that we have the score lines right here, and we have the rectangle or the base. And so we need to first change this to score lines so that it doesn't cut. So I'm going to click on the thumbnail for just the lines. Under Operations, it says Basic Cut. So we're going to hit the drop down, and we're going to change it to Score. And now I'm going to come over here and select the group So both pieces are highlighted, the score lines and the rectangle, and we are going to attach it. Now it has these larger perforation lines. This is actually a solid score line. So when I send it to the Cricut to cut, it will tell me that I need to have a scoring tool, a scoring stylus or a scoring wheel, and the blade. So I'm going to do this for each one of those. I'll come over here to my layers panel, click on the line, under operations, click the drop down and select score, then select the group and attach. We'll do it for this next one, which is the green or the large base. So I'm going to select just the lines, score, select the group and attach. And then we have one more that we need to do that for, and that is this brown one, the middle base, score, score, and then the group and attach. Now when I go to make it, you'll see that the lines are attached and it says score and basic cut. When I hit continue, I'm not set up to my machine yet, but when I hit continue, it will tell me that I need either the scoring stylus or the scoring wheel. Let's hit cancel and go back. So now I can move all of these over here, and now we can upload those printable images. So I'm going to go to upload again, upload images, grab our file, and let's do the tags. So I'm going to select the tags and drag and drop. When we get to the upload image, we want to hit complex. Just get in the habit of always hitting complex. When we get into the background, there's no background to remove. It's already been done for us, so we don't need to do anything there. We're going to hit apply and continue. And then we want to make sure that we say that we use the print then cut image, and we are going to upload it. Now this file says to resize it to a height of 6.5 inches, and there's a reason for that. So if I select it and hit add to canvas, those labels or tags are going to come in, but they come in really high. That's because I've saved them at a high DPI so that they will print really nice. So I need to come up to height, make sure your padlock is closed so that the proportions are locked, highlight your height and type in 6.5 and enter. And now those printable images are the right size. Okay, we need to do the same exact thing for the wrappers. So I'm going to go to upload, upload images, click on the design space, and we are going to pick up the Nugget wrappers, drag and drop, hit complex, always hit continue. Don't worry about the background, just hit apply and continue. You can rename it, you can tag it, you can add it to collections if you want to, but then make sure that you select the print and cut and upload. Okay, we're going to select that, add to canvas. It's going to come in really large again, and so now we are going to highlight the height and do 6.5 inches and enter. And now the wrappers are the right size, and you can lay them up on your grid. They should be 1 by 3, so 1 inches across and 3 blocks down. Those are perfect. We'll go to make it, and we have a print and cut there, and we have a print and cut here, and then we have the individual pieces. And everything is ready to go. We can hit continue and then just cut it as we go along. Make sure that when you print this, or excuse me, when you cut it, that your setting is either on your sticker paper or your glossy paper, whatever you have printed it on. And that is all that you need to do for Cricut. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up, hit subscribe down below so that you don't miss any of my videos, and have a great day.